Welcome to the Trade Table. Today we are going to discuss, do you need a permit to install a mini split air conditioner? Are you considering installing it in your home? You're likely aware of the convenience of this type of cooling system, but it's essential to understand that specific permits and regulations may come along with it. Do I need a permit to install a mini split? The answer may vary depending on your location, so it's best to check with your local municipality first. In general, you will need a permit to install any air conditioning unit that affects your home's electrical or structural integrity. Mini split system installation may require a building permit. That includes mini split systems because they require the installation of external components like an outdoor condenser and wiring connection between the indoor and outdoor units. Sometimes you may also need a building permit if you make any significant changes to your home structure. If you need to get a permit, then make sure that the installer has all the necessary paperwork before they start the job so that local building departments can approve it. And always remember to check with your local municipality first, as this will ensure that you'll have everything covered and be able to install your mini split safely and legally. What type of permit is needed for a mini split? This can mean a few different things depending on where you're located. A general rule of thumb is that the process is pretty much the same if you live in the US. Typically, you'll need an electrical permit, basically, one that allows for changes to the electrical wiring in your home. Depending on your specific circumstances and where you live, this permit usually covers ventilation and air conditioning work. It's important to note that these permits may be issued through different organizations depending on where you live. For example, in some states, it may be the local city council or municipality, while in others, it could be an Hvac specialist. Professional assistance may be required. Finally, it's worth mentioning that a licensed electrician or air conditioning contractor must often be present when applying for the permit to answer any questions and provide any additional information or documents as required by the local authority. This way, they can ensure your installation is done safely and up to code. Why do you need a building permit for a mini split? The fact is that mini split system installs have more complex requirements than other types of air conditioners. The installation process involves special wiring and structural modifications, and most cities require you to get a building permit to install one. Here are some reasons why. Safety: mini splits must be wired up correctly to run efficiently and safely. A licensed electrician can ensure the safe installation of the system wiring. Energy efficiency: because the systems are installed differently than other AC units, they require specific mounting brackets that allow the system to operate more efficiently regarding energy use. Structural modifications: installing certain mini split types could involve cutting into walls or floors and require ductwork or other structural modifications depending on the setup. A building permit ensures that these modifications are done correctly for the system to work properly and safely. Should I pull a permit for a mini split myself? You might wonder whether it's worth the time and effort to pull a permit yourself or just leave it up to the professionals. There are a few things to consider here, such as your local building regulations, Hvac license requirements, and insurance liability. Consulting a licensed professional. It's ultimately best to consult with a licensed professional to determine if you'll need a permit to install your mini split air conditioner. A licensed contractor can guide you on whether or not you need a permit, as well as information on your local building codes and applicable Hvac laws that may pertain to your project. In addition, they will be aware of any additional insurance requirements that may apply due to the complexity of the installation process. They will also be able to advise you on any potential risks associated with not obtaining the proper permits before starting work. State permit requirements for mini splits. As previously stated, different states have varying construction permit regulations, and within states, there might be changes at the county level and beyond. With that in mind, let's take a look at how notable states address this issue in different sections of the country. New York State. The New York State Department of State's Division of Building Standards and Codes creates, administers, and enforces the Uniform Fire Prevention and Building Code, Uniform Code, and Energy Conservation Construction Code. These guidelines aim to guarantee that buildings throughout the state meet acceptable safety requirements while also being energy efficient and resilient. The Mechanical Code of New York State, MCNYS, was produced by New York and is part of the Uniform Code. It covers installing and designing appliances, mechanical systems, and ventilation systems, including mini splits. Except for New York City, which has its regulations, especially for historic structures, the MCNYS has been implemented nationwide. The state of New York does not need Hvac workers to be licensed, but local governments may have their requirements. California. In contrast to New York, HVAC workers in California must have a C20 HVAC license. The Contractors State License Board of the Department of Consumer Affairs issues these. According to California's Contractors State License Board, CSLB, practically any substantial building work needs separate permission from the building authority for each facility. California's code standards change depending on the county and city. Therefore, verify with the county, city, and town building authorities as applicable to your region. Florida. HVAC employees in Florida are required by the Department of Business and Professional Regulation, DBPR, to get an HVAC license. They can seek a statewide license or become a registered contractor, allowing them to work in only one city. At sunset, a yacht parked in a Florida marina with lit-up buildings and pom-poms on the shoreline. You should check the DBPR website to see if your selected contractor has a valid license. Before installing, changing, or removing AC or mini-split systems, the Florida Building Code, Mechanical, needs a building permit. A licensed contractor will know the exact standards, which may differ from one city or township to the next. Check the criteria for your jurisdiction with the relevant agency once again. Texas. HVAC technicians in Texas must be licensed by the Texas Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Contractors Advisory Board. In Texas, mechanical work, including mini-split installation, requires a construction permit. In Texas, cities grant construction permits, so you must contact your local municipality's building department or planning office for more information on the application procedure. Although there are many commonalities in the standards imposed by different communities across Texas, you should be informed of the nuances to prevent being caught off guard. For example, permits given by the City of Center expire after 180 days if construction has not begun or work has been stopped for over 180 days. However, if a request is submitted in writing, it allows for one-time extensions. In University Park, however, licenses expire after just 60 days if no inspections are performed. A phone call is then required to reactivate the permit or apply for another. Pennsylvania. The Uniform Building Code of Pennsylvania specifies the criteria for estate building projects. The code refers to the International Mechanical Code 2015, which specifies the criteria that must be met by HVAC equipment, including mini-splits. In Pennsylvania, each city or township has its own set of standards. Most of these jurisdictions will require a permit and an inspection for both electrical and mechanical repairs. Before applying for a township license to undertake the work, most townships will need contractors to have a PA Home Improvement Contractor License, a state-level document. Consider local regulations when deciding whether or not to get a permit for a mini-split air conditioner installation. Ultimately, the decision to get a permit or not should be based on your local regulations. Permit regulations vary from place to place and can span from no permit to an extensive screening process. However, getting the permit for your mini-split installation ensures that you comply with all local regulations and may even lower your homeowner's insurance premium. If you're still unsure about whether you need a permit for your mini-split installation, you always have the option to contact your local planning department or a licensed HVAC contractor. They can be a great resource in helping you understand the local regulations and in navigating the permit process, so you can be confident that your mini-split installation meets your local regulations and codes. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it enjoyable, please consider leaving a like and sharing any mini-split related question in the comments below. Also, don't forget to visit thetradable.com for the ultimate resource on mini-splits.